The Jews took a heavy toll in the Holocaust. On March 25th, 1944, 1,850 people were arrested and deported to Auschwitz. Only 163 returned. My first film that I made, which was on Israeli TV in 1989, was on the Jews of Ioannina. What I want to point out was that one woman talked about how the Gentiles woke up when the Jews were arrested. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, and when the Jews were paraded in the city to get onto trucks by the lake to be taken to Larissa and then to Auschwitz, the Greek Orthodox of the city jeered the Jews. This is highly significant. There wasn't a lot of rescue of Jews in the city. A religious holy leader, he wasn't the chief rabbi, he was like the chacham, he was like a learned, elderly religious man. His name was Moise Kabili. So he told the Jews that if he believed the Germans, whatever they supplied the Germans by demand, whether it was money, whether it was wood, the Germans wouldn't touch the Jews of Ioannina because they were different than the Jews of Salonika. Of course, he was duped. The Germans also forced him to demand from parents that they bring back their sons from the partisans. So some 22 Jews came back from the partisans. Of course, they were sent to Auschwitz, and most were annihilated. Part of the group of the Jews who resisted in Auschwitz, or Birkenau to be precise, were Jews from Ioannina who were in the partisans. Some of them were in these groups that were duped, but some were caught by the Germans in Greece and then deported to Auschwitz-Birkenau. It is said that the Ioannina played a leading role in the world of literature. Therefore, the Jewish community also contributed in this area through its distinguished intellectuals. The eminent rabbis and biblical scholars, Rabbi Samuel, Rabbi David, and Rabbi Chacham Davos, as well as Yosef Eliyahu, were amongst them. In the 19th century, there was an emissary from Hebron called Chashmal, Chaim Shmuel Halevi, in the mid-19th century, and he predicted in the year 1948, Tashach, that it would be the beginning of the redemption, Hatchalat Geulah. And Rav Kook, in the 30s in Israel, recognized his theological contributions. You can see in the text, I won't go on, but there were Ioannina Jews in New York, and they had a significant communal structure, and they had women's organizations, they had youth organizations. They lived first in the Lower East Side, then they moved to Harlem, they lived in Bensonhurst, and in New Lots. Today, the only synagogue they have is the original synagogue on the Lower East Side in Broome Street, which also has a museum of Romanio Jews in Epirus on the second floor. They had a lot of special traditions. They had a special Sicilian Purim. They had a special Sicilian circumcision. They have a scroll called an Aleph, which is like holy Kabbalistic symbols and sayings, which is placed over the bed of the young boy before his circumcision. There's what's called a silver artistic ornament called a Shaddai, with the name of God. Shaddai is one of the 71 names of God, and that's placed over the curtain, over the parochet in the synagogue. So in the Yaniot synagogue in Jerusalem, in the Ohel Moshe neighborhood near the market, near the Machane Yehuda market, you have the Shaddai ornaments on the curtain of the ark, and you have many in the Israel Museum. In the Holocaust, though, there was a Jewish collaborator, and Jewish property was confiscated. The Jews were sent to forced labor, but the Jews dug a pit where they hid the Torah scrolls and ritual objects from the synagogue, and also the metropolite, the head Greek Orthodox hegemon. He hid Torah scrolls for the Jews, and after the war they were given back. 69 Jews hid in hiding with the help of Christian families or were in the resistance, and in total 112 Jews from Ioannina survived the camp.